फोन।
आज हम बात करने वाले हैं सिलीगुड़ी कॉरिडोर के बारे में। व्हाट इज द वल्नरेबिलिटी, व्हाट्स द रियलिटी, सच क्या है वहाँ, और इसका हाइप कितना है, और इस हाइप में भी क्या सच्चाई है और क्या वास्तविकता है। ये सब चीज बात करने के लिए मेरे साथ हैं जनरल KJ सिंह सर। Good evening and welcome to Gunner Shot once again. You are coming on the channel after a long time, and I'm honored that you're here.
गुड इवनिंग, जय हिंद, जन शंकर। लिसनर्स, आप सबको भी जय हिंद और गुड इवनिंग। आप सब इस चैनल पे हमारे साथ जुड़ते हो, इसके लिए बहुत शुक्रिया। और कोशिश कर कर इस चैनल को शेयर करें, लाइक करें और सब्सक्राइब करें प्लीज़। तो आज हम सिलीगुड़ी कॉरिडोर के बारे में बातचीत करेंगे। तो it is important for us to understand that what is Siliguri corridor. Is it just a geographical space, or is it a geo-economic space which is accentuated by demographics? So that is what we need to look at. कहने को तो सिर्फ 200 किलोमीटर लंबा और लगभग एक जगह पे 22 किलोमीटर है, वो भी 20 किलोमीटर की स्ट्रेच में सिर्फ उतना ही चौड़ा है वहां पर। बट रेस्ट ऑफ द प्लेसेस एवरेज विड्थ इज अबाउट 60 to 70 किलोमीटर्स। और जहां पर सबसे कम चौड़ाई है, जहां पर कि वो कहते हैं चिकन स्नैक टाइप का सिचुएशन बन जाता है, वो जो 20 किलोमीटर है वो नेपाल और बांग्लादेश के साथ। उसमें चीन इन्वॉल्व नहीं है। अगर चीन नेपाल के थ्रू आ जाए तो बात दूसरी। ये एक ऐसी स्पेस है इन विच वी हैव बॉर्डर विद 4 कंट्रीज। बांग्लादेश, मैं जब भी कभी कहीं पे बॉर्डर मैनेजमेंट पे लेक्चर लेता हूँ, IIT वगैरह दूसरी जगहों पे, IIM, तो मैंने पूछा लोगों से कि इंडिया के जो बॉर्डर्स हैं, सबसे बड़ा बॉर्डर, लंबा बॉर्डर किसके साथ है? यू विल बी सरप्राइज्ड, एक्सेप्ट फॉर 1 to 2% पीपल, आंसर्स आर रॉन्ग। दे से either Pakistan or China. They forget that India has the longest border with Bangladesh, and complicated one. There are challenges of human trafficking, challenges of cattle smuggling, and few other issues like counterfeit currency, drugs, and even arms coming through. Second border here we have is with Nepal, which is an open border, and it is eastern part of Nepal, जहाँ के लोगों को किरातीज बोलते हैं, तो वहाँ के लोगों के साथ ये बॉर्डर है। And हमारे in Gorkha regiments, lot of people come from that area. We have in Kalimpong a Gorkha recruitment depot to cater for these people. तीसरा बॉर्डर यहाँ पर है भूटान के साथ, जो कि फिर से ओपन बॉर्डर है। भूटान के अंदर जो कुछ भी जाता है, भूटान और नेपाल 2 लैंडलॉक्ड कंट्रीज हैं। और नेपाल में अब तो चाइना कोशिश कर रहा है किसी तरीके से वहाँ ट्रांसपोर्टेशन करने की, लेकिन इन 2 कंट्रीज के अंदर जो कुछ भी जाता है वो इंडिया से ही जाता है। इंडिया के पोर्ट्स पे आता है, इट गोज देयर। इवन द पावर सिस्टम ओवर देयर इज लार्जली, especially Bhutan, is dependent on India. So here we have an interesting space. अच्छा, चौथी कंट्री जो है वो है चाइना। चाइना के साथ फिजिकल बॉर्डर नहीं है, लेकिन चाइना तो सबसे बड़ा डेंजर है यहाँ, क्योंकि यहाँ पर इस कॉरिडोर की तरफ एक डैगर है जो पॉइंट कर रहा है। आप पढ़ेंगे चुम्बी वैली, उसको आप देखिए स्क्रीन के ऊपर। सिक्किम और भूटान के बीच में वो जो नैरो स्ट्रेच नीचे को आ रही है, वो एक डैगर की शेप, एक खंजर, जो कि चाइना हमारे अंदर घोंपना चाहता है। इट वांट्स टू किल अस विद दैट, किल आवर कनेक्शन विद नॉर्थ ईस्ट। दैट इज चाइना's ड्रीम। एंड this Chumbi Valley is valley. So on both sides it is dominated by heights. So India dominates on one side and Bhutan dominates on other side. And in Bhutan we have a training team in Imtrat. So we have some responsibilities for defense of Bhutan. So China is sensitive to that. And China also wants to widen the base of this valley, because currently this, at tapering end of this valley, it is only about 20-25 kilometers, but it wants to widen it and it wants to also deepen it. देखिए, अगर आप, हम बाद में इसकी डिस्कशन करेंगे, इस पे आएंगे हम, बट अभी वापस चलते हैं कि ये दिस सिलीगुड़ी कॉरिडोर इज अ गेटवे टू 8 states of northeast including Sikkim, 7 of, जिनको हम कन्विंसली कहते हैं 7 sisters and 1 brother, असम को इंक्लूड करके। तो ये जो स्टेट्स है, त्रिपुरा, मणिपुर, मिजोरम, नागालैंड, अरुणाचल, मेघालय, असम और सिक्किम, इनके लिए ये गेटवे है। और about 50 million people are dependent on this gateway. And why only Indians? It is also a gateway for Bhutan, Nepal, and northwestern Bangladesh. These three people from these three places come to Siliguri. Actually, India has not exploited Siliguri. Siliguri could have been like Hong Kong, could have been it is a flourishing town, but it could have been super flourishing, because all the bulk breaking of construction material, of commodities takes place in Siliguri, in this area. And this space is part of West Bengal, or what is we call as North Bengal. Only some part towards the east, Kokrajhar and all, is in Assam. Rest all is in West Bengal, North Bengal, and Gorkhaland. And in this, there have been 2 insurgencies: Gorkhaland insurgency and also the Kuch Bihar, जिसको राजबंशी, कामतापुर insurgency भी कहते हैं. So, my dear friends, it's a very complicated space, demographically also, because there are large number of tea gardens here. The plains here are called dwars, and dwars have tea gardens, large number of them. And these tea gardens have tea labor, and tea labor is all from outside. They are tribals. They have become an interest group in themselves. They can be exploited. China also tries to exploit through Communist Party. They try to do that. So, my dear friends, it's a very, very sensitive geographical space. I'll keep repeating it, but you'll have to bear with it. It is starting from Darjeeling side, Kalimpong, Nepal. It is mountainous. Then it gets into lower hills, plains. There are large number of rivers here. There is Tista, there is Torsa, there is Mahananda, there is Rangit, and there are multiple nalas in this. It's all reserve forests. There are reserve forests. Mananda Reserve Forest and all these reserve forests are over there. And this is a typical country of elephant corridors. Elephants move here in large numbers. It's a corridor for them. Even trains are run in such a way that elephants are not run over. So you are looking at a space which is difficult to traverse. There are hills, there are rivers, there are nalas, there is vegetation, there are forests. So it's not easy. It's not easy to traverse. Which are the cities here? Siliguri, Hub, Darjeeling, Kalimpong. Recently, uh, Darjeeling and Kalimpong have been made two separate districts. Otherwise, there was one district only. And there is this district of Jalpaiguri, in which Siliguri is part of it. But Siliguri is the headquarter of North Bengal. And North Bengal is an entity. They have offices. There is a ministry for North Bengal. So North Bengal में थोड़ा autonomous का touch है, शुरू से रहा है. And then there are cities like Malda, which is a very dangerous city. Everybody in Malda knows how to make bombs. It's a counterfeit capital of India. So वो है मालदा. फिर वहां पर बहरामपुर और दिनाजपुर ये इस तरह की है. प्रणब मुखर्जी इधर से ही आते थे. He used to come from here. And very nice मिठाई होती है उधर. I wish you sometimes go and eat that mithai. It is also, and as you keep moving that side, you have Jalpaiguri, and there is a new Jalpaiguri railway station. There is Banarhat. Banarhat is the place which is above Binagudi, from where a new railway line will be made to Bhutan. Something. A very strategic railway line. I hope India can complete it fast, because once that railway line comes in, China's options will get reduced. We can induct forces fast. As we keep moving, we go to Hashimar. And then there is Kuch Bihar, and there is Kokrajhar, that side. And there's another railway line to come up from Kokrajhar to Galifu. Galifu is the city in Bhutan which India is trying to develop as a free trade zone in Bhutan. So, my dear friends, it's a difficult space, complicated space. There are two airports here. There is an airport of Bagdogra with very strategic assets are there, and Hashimar. The second squadron of Rafales was, first is Ambala, second is Hashimar. It is deployed there. And there is a thought process to make an aviation base at Shawgam for UAVs and others. And this is a very interesting space. There are military stations and military stations. There is Sukuna, there is Binagudi, there is Bendubi, there is Hashimara. These are bigger military stations. I'll repeat them. Sukna, where there is a corps headquarter. There's nothing secret about that. Sikkim Corps is situated there. There is Binagudi, which is a huge big military station. Bendubi, which is another big military station. Hashimara, Kalimpong, and Darjeeling. And then there are satellite stations. Lal Mati. Gangtok is it is not included in Siliguri, but it is an important military station in vicinity. But there are chota stations. Damdim, Lal Mati, Shiv Mandir,
New Mall,
Gangaram, Tea Bazaar, Tea Estate. I keep forgetting the names now. Gurbatang. There are नाम ही याद करना मुश्किल हो जाता है, but they are there. अच्छा, अगर और कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी को आप एक्सप्लोर करो तो यहाँ बॉर्डर को कौन गार्ड कर रहा है? नेपाल और भूटान बॉर्डर को गार्ड कर रहे हैं एसएसपी, सशस्त्र सीमा बल। बांग्लादेश बॉर्डर को कौन गार्ड कर रहा है? बीएसएफ। और चाइना बॉर्डर को कौन गार्ड कर रहा है? आईटीबी। सो देयर इज अ कॉम्प्लेक्स इंटरप्ले between CAPS, SSB, BSF, ITB. All have their administrative and training establishments in Siliguri corridor. करने ही पड़ेंगे बिकॉज एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव बेस तो यही होगा, इनका कोऑर्डिनेशन। और सीआरपीएफ तो हर जगह ही होती है, उसकी कुछ बटालियंस तो होती है। सो देयर इज अ नीड, now they are working on it, of having a coordinating. They have started it, but I used to keep crying that let's have a coordinating headquarter, unified headquarter kind of thing, जो कि इन सब के इनपुट्स को एक दूसरे से मैशिंग करे। My dear friends, also we must look at a very important thing geo-economically, which is that Darjeeling, Siliguri is the market, Darjeeling is, and the Duars are the biggest producers of tea. And tea is a revenue generating commodity. उसके अलावा ये एक मेडिकल, टूरिज्म एंड एजुकेशन हब भी। All children from royalty of Bhutan and some higher families of Nepal come and study in a place called as Darjeeling and Kalimpong. There are great public schools there, like Gram Som and all, and children come and study there. Or royalty of Bhutan has got a stake in those schools. There is North Bengal University also. Now private universities have come up. So it's an educational hub and it's a medical tourism hub. Large number of people who have to get their organ replacement and all that done, they descend on Siliguri. I wish we had used this to create better dependencies, which we have अपने आप तो हो गई है, बट गवर्नमेंट्स ने इतना अच्छी तरीके से नहीं किया. This is my feeling. And last 10-12 years and even more, North Bengal has become a tinderbox, because in Bengal, when an opposition doesn't get a chance to change the government, then one thought comes to their mind: demographically, where are they better placed? And this is the place, because Kuch Bihar and Rajbanshi community, they tend to vote a little differently. So there are demands at times to make North Bengal a separate state.
Separate state, yeah.
Even I had written that at least it should become a union territory, because it is too complicated to be handled by a state government. But I don't know what will happen. But it is a issue which is, because see, earlier, I'll be very honest. Earlier, the ruling party thought we will win the entire Bengal, and they didn't agree with this demand. But lately, they've realized it may be difficult to win Bengal. So why not think of that? That's how states are created in India, or were created. And North Bengal is an entity which can happen. We need to watch it carefully. But as strategic thinkers, a good option will be to make it a union territory. Call it Simant Union Territory or something like this, so that central government keeps a control over it. And that should include Gorkhaland also. Now let's come to Gorkhaland. Now Gorkhaland problem has been a very serious problem. Thousands of people have died, and there is only a partial resolution. Because if you remember, in 70s and all, Subhash Gishing who was a sergeant, he started this movement and he's created GNLF and all. Indian government did a very good thing, like in Mizoram where we placed Lal Denga. Here, Subhash Gesing was made the boss. कि आप ही संभालो. To catch a thief, you must put a thief. So he was. But would you believe it, my friends? Subhash Gesing died about 6-7 years back, I think 5-6 years back. On his, firstly, he could never dare to go to Darjeeling. He used to live in Siliguri, and only 30-40 people went for his funeral. He was a very unpopular man because it's very easy to agitate, very difficult to satisfy people. But uh, why I say Gorkhaland is not a complete resolution as yet, because original demand was for 398 Mausas. Mausa is a village in Bengal. They were given 5 Mausas, just notionally, because they wanted entire Duars, which is largely Siliguri corridor, becoming part of Gorkhaland dispensation. But that was not allowed. So they have only 5 Mausas. Uh, they have control over few issues. They don't have complete autonomy. State government is not giving them control over tea, tourism, and few other things. And successive state governments have tried to use divide and rule, because when you can't throw out a particular party, I had seen Subhash Gesing, Binay Tamang, Vimal Gurung, all these people keep coming going, and they are very emotive people. You won't believe one election was won based on Prakash Tamang. Prakash Tamang is Indian Idol. When he won, one party rode on his success and won the election. Everybody voted for that. So here, currently, the no party is can be excused. I'm sorry to use this word, because parties have used this area for very their own purposes. See, there was Jaswant Singh was MP from Darjeeling. What is his role to become MP from Darjeeling? Then there is a Sardarji called as Aluwali from Bihar. He's fighting from Asansol or someplace now. He was MP from here. Now, Jaswant Singh, Aluwalia, what have they got to do with us? I have not understood. And then what people do is, like this time, Mamta, TMC, they tried to divide the Gurkha community. They made a Lepcha council, uh, a Gurung council, another council, Bhutia council. They are looking for trouble, because if you divide, there'll be multiple demands. So it's a Gorkhaland problem needs to be resolved in a proper manner. It's a sensitive space, and Gurkhas are so loyal to India. And my dear friends, many of us tend to think of Gurkhas in a very stereotyped role. We feel Gurkha, Shabji, sentry, guard. That is our conception of Gurkhas. He is a guard, Shabji. No. In this part of the country, Gurkha is a businessman. Gurkha is a networker. Gurkhas have taken over entire Sikkim. Sikkim, which used to be dominated by Bhutias and Lepchas, thanks to scheduled caste or scheduled tribe reservation in Assembly of Sikkim. Otherwise, all CMs of Sikkim, except for Kazi Lendup Torji, who was this thing. After that, all have been Gurkhas. Gurkhas have moved in, and they dominate Sikkim. They have all the businesses, everything. So you see Narbadur Bandari, you see this. I'm forgetting this chap's name. I knew him so well. He was the chief,
Chamlin,
Pawan Chamling.
Pawan Chamlin. Yeah.
20 years. He was chief minister for 20 or 25 years. More than our PM Modi also. So the current one, Gole, they are all Gurkhas. And Bhutan had a very serious problem of these migrants. And they were called Bhuplis. Nepalese settled in Bhutan. So they threw them out somehow with great difficulty. So a Gurkha who appears to as Sabji or watchman is not that in this part. They are big businessmen. They're running casinos. This Pavan Chamling's son has got casinos. So all that is there. It's a it's a reality over there. So so this is one problem. Now let me go to other problem, which luckily is dormant currently, which is the problem of Kamtapur or Kuch Bihar. Kuch Bihar is a state, a royalty, and if you remember Gayatri Devi, she came from Kuch Bihar. If we can just remember for this thing. So Kuch Bihar is uh, inhabited by people who are called Rajbangshis. And they have, Rajbangshis have an imaginary conception of having a state of Kamtapur, a state which is mythologically it was called Kamtapur. So they are fighting for Kamtapur or Kuch Bihar in a way. So this is also a problem which is currently under control. There was a group called as KLO which has been put down, but insurgency you can never say. It can come up anytime. Anytime it can come up. So, my dear friends, let us also look at the communication links here. See, this narrow corridor provides rail connectivity, broad gauge line to through Kokrajhar, starting from this side to from uh, uh, Bagdogra, New Jalpaiguri, Banarhat, and going down to Kokrajhar towards into Assam and all this. So railway broad gauge line runs here. There is also surface connectivity. There are two national highways which pass through this narrow space. There is also optical fiber layout. There is also oil pipeline. All these are there. They are critical. They are strategic assets. So, my friends, uh, what is India doing about it? Well, we have not been sleeping. We had mooted an idea of something called a Tetulia corridor. Tetulia corridor is through Bangladesh. It is towards where we have the narrowest stretch. It will reduce the need to travel over a circuitous route and connect and cut down the time. But Bangladesh is not yet playing up to it. Why? Because Bangladesh wants India to give water from Farakka Barrage. You know, the rivers at their tail end, Ganga and this, which is called Jamna and
Brahmaputra.
Padma, Brahmaputra. Brahmaputra we can't influence much, but Ganga we can. So this river is, when it enters Bangladesh, it starts sedimenting, and there is huge big sediments which get collected. They choke the flow, cause waterlogging, reduce agriculture space, and they grow jute and all over here. So Bangladesh has been saying that during lean period, not throughout, in rains there are floods. So during lean period, India must give more water through Farakka Barrage. You know, Manmohan Singh had worked out a deal. It was to be signed, but at the last minute, Mamta Banerjee backed out. It's a very political, emotive issue. because in India nobody wants to give away water. That's the problem. But in my perception, as a strategic thinker, I feel we should give some water to Bangladesh. We have the capability to create or harness water. Whatever we do, we should be, because Bangladesh, before Sheikh Hasina was a serious headache for us. And if Begum Khalida Zia comes back again, we'll have serious problems. If you remember Anup Chetia, Paresh Barua, Anthony Shimring, they were all handed over by the Hasina Begum. So we must be cognizant of this. We must be grateful to this lady who has helped us to reduce this militancy or insurgency, secessionism in Northeast. She has been a wonderful. I always feel Sheikh Hasina Wajid should be given a Bharat Ratna because she has done. But only thing is it'll harm her politically because they'll say she has become India's chamcha. But she has actually this thing. So we are trying to build a friendship corridor also through Bangladesh. We are improving rail links, which are happening from Akhoda to Dhaka, from this side, from Bengal side into this thing. So rail links are getting improved. Surface road connectivity is getting improved. Inland waterways are being tried. We also were trying Kaladan multimodal project, which was which is to go to Sitwe in Myanmar and from there through the river Kaladan come up. It was multimodal. Go by ship, travel the river, get onto road, same container, first on a ship, then on a boat and inland steamer, and then on a truck. Travels to Zoraktwar in Mizoram. But there are problems. Now Myanmar is up in flames. So this India has recently done some activity in Sitwe to safeguard our assets and all, but the project had got delayed, and we are not good in project management. I must tell you this, honest. I have seen comparative. China is much better. China is also doing activity in Bangladesh. They are in Cox's Bazar. They are in Chittagong. They also want to, but Bangladesh is, you know, slowing it, giving India also a chance. Because I asked my friends in Bangladesh that why. They say, see, you must understand. It is not a zero sum game. It is not either China or India. We have problems. We are between rock and the hard place. So we'll have to accommodate China, whatever you might say. You better work on your strengths and let China do what they do. We will take care of it if you do it gracefully. If you try to do this too much of natakbaji, then we'll be constrained. We are, as you know, we are supplying power to Bangladesh. There is a separate grid. Adani's power point is doing that power project. We have also got power projects and connectivity in Bangladesh. There is also in this space uh, a group which is called, you know, which is a collection between Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, and India. BIBN, that is there. Bhutan, India, Bangladesh, Nepal. BIBN, that is there. So BIBN was to actually have a headquarter in Siliguri. It hasn't taken off, but it is worth pushing this thing because this corridor, the one project was motorway, but then Bhutan didn't allow it. You'll be surprised, Bhutan didn't allow it because Bhutan believes in the concept of minimum impact, high value tourism. They don't want people to come in unchecked. Whoever comes in has to pay a premium. Then Bhutan allows them inside. Otherwise, they don't allow them inside. So, my dear friends, we have problems. We are exploring solutions. We are also trying to create strategic reserves so that, God forbid, if this corridor is cut off, we have enough reserves in the northeast. Earlier, there was a concept that you align the economy of northeast to countries on that side and allow this trilateral highway running to Thailand and all. That is not fructified because of security situation. And also we have realized, see, you would have heard of a corridor called as BICM corridor. Bangladesh, India, China, Myanmar corridor. Like I told you, BBIN had a motorway concept which was stopped by Bhutan. But BICM corridor has been stopped by India. And rightly so. I don't blame India for that. Because if we allow it, it only serves the purpose of China. We already have an adverse balance of payment and trade situation. Entire commodities from China will come and flood north. So that's why India is not allowed. Rightly so. So now let me get to very important issue which uh, Shankar had flagged in the beginning, which is how vulnerable is Siliguri corridor. I have done programs on this earlier also, and I was a corps commander there. So you'll have to believe me. And I say it on based on war games. I'll tell you a story. It can be told now. Many years have passed. I was a corps commander in Sikkim, and my command headquarters didn't like me much because I was a fairly independent corps commander. I used to do my own things, and I had told my headquarters staff कि कमांड की ज़्यादा मत सुना करो, उधर चीज़ें रुक जाती हैं, तुम काम किया करो. देयर नो प्रॉब्लम, डोंट वरी. इंडियन आर्मी में ऐसा बहुत होता है. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, ये नहीं है कि बट कोर कमांडर कीप्स हिज आर्मी कमांडर इन्फॉर्म. ही डज नथिंग ऑन हिज ओन, बट स्टाफ लेवल पे हो जाता है. सो द स्टाफ केम प्रिपेयर्ड to sort me out in the war game. So they came, and if you read, there is a book written by Stephen Hawking or something, and there's another book written by Bob Butalia. So these two books tell you about a possibility of China coming down the Chumbi Valley into Siliguri corridor. The book is called Assassin's Mace. You can Google it, you'll get that book. 1 मिनट अगर आप मुझे दोगे तो मैं आपको बुक ही दिखा देता हूँ. मैंने निकाल कर रखी थी आप लोगों को दिखाने के लिए, क्योंकि जनशंकर जब हमें वार्निंग देते हैं तो हमको तैयारी करनी पड़ती है. ये देख, ये है किताब written by Bob Butalia. I am not telling you about that book written by foreign author because वो किताब शायद आपको इतनी, वो थोड़ी हैवी है, ये थोड़ी नॉवल टाइप है. अगर आप पढ़ना चाहो तो पढ़िएगा प्लीज. आई एम नॉट सेलिंग दिस बुक, हाँ प्लीज, आई एम जस्ट टेलिंग यू व्हाट इट इज. सो अ सिनेरियो वाज पेंटेड and China was given all the advantages. All the advantages. See, one biggest threat for us is China uses airborne troops, comes into a place in Siliguri corridor, opens an airhead. क्योंकि ऐसा है मेरे दोस्तों, अगर आप सिक्किम को देखो ध्यान से, तो सिक्किम और जो चुंबी वैली का बॉर्डर है, दैट हैज गॉट फ्यू पासेस, रेलेवेंट पासेस तो ऊपर से शुरू होते हैं, बट विल नॉट गो इनटू दोस टंकरला, फिमकुरला, वो पास की हम नहीं बात करेंगे. कांकरला वो ऊपर है. बट जब आप नीचे आ जाते हो गैंगटॉक की लाइन में, तो देर इज अ चोला पास and there is a Nathula pass. Chola and Nathula are firmly in India's control. thanks to General Sagat Singh. Sagat Singh was a divisional commander who defied his corps commander in Sukna and stood his ground. He said, I'll not withdraw. Orders were given to him to withdraw. So when I was as a corps commander resisting my div headquarter, probably Sagat Singh's Atma was working in me. कि थोड़ा रेजिस्टेंस करना चाहिए कई बार. उसके नीचे आता है जलेपला. Jelepla pass was vacated by 27 Div and given to Chinese. उसके और नीचे आ जाओ तो आता है बटांगला पास, फिर आता है डोकाला. नाउ डोकाला के थोड़ा नीचे जाके चुंबी वैली खत्म हो जाती है. अभी our interpretation is highest watershed. So we say Batangla line is where the Chinese claim, because it is a border between Bhutan and China. India is just on one side. तो claim जो है वो भूटान के अंदर है. So we insist that the line finishes at Batangla, which is the highest watershed of Torsa and Tista. So we say it should finish here. So Batangla से नीचे आके, that is the thing. But China says no. There is a place called as Gipmochi या Gimochin. So it's $1 million question कि Gimochin है कहाँ. China says Gimochin नीचे है, साउथ में. हम कहते हैं ऊपर वहां पे Gipmochi. There is a place called as Gimochin. China कहता है ये वही है Gipmochi है. So there is a lot of differing claims over there and lot of things. But China basically wants to get down to a place called as Chela Pass. Chela Pass is where Bhutan has got deployment. India behind Chela in south has got joint deployment also. So they want to get to a feature called as Jamferi Ridge. If you get onto Jamferi Ridge, you have some kind of domination into Siliguri. It is not line of sight. आपको दिखाई नहीं देता उधर से. लेकिन you can use high trajectory weapons to your advantage. And जैसे Shankar is a master of artillery and rockets and all, so उसके लिए observation भी चाहिए fire को direct करने के लिए. Nowadays you can even pre-program your weapon, these smart bombs and all, but that can be done aerially with other means. But allow me to tell you, India is well prepared to defend and occupy Jamferi if we get a whiff of it. We always practice it, we have contingency and we are deployed for that. तो ऐसे तो हम देंगे नहीं. और अगर चाइना
ये
उसमें कुछ
सर
भी
1 minute सर, ये जो है ना, ये चुंबी वैली सीन फ्रॉम द चाइना साइड एक्चुअली. आप देखो जॉनफरी रिज इज द farthest corner away in the north. If you see, this is Yadong in the center, is map में आप, right? Yeah, this is as you see it from the other side. Yeah. And you see the heights on the either side. Bhutan is on the left and India अपना जो Cholar Natula ridge is on the right side. And सबसे नीचे है वो Jamferi ridge. Just for your alignment, you can explain it. Right. And what you see beyond is that Torsa Nala and left, which is going off towards that Funshling, वो इलाका है.
So China wants to get to Jamferi. Before Jamferi, there is a Raja Rani Talao and Torsa Nala. Frankly, I have got a feeling that Bhutan is prepared to give them up to Torsa Nala. India doesn't want. India wants to stop them at Batangla. And this entire area is called Doklam Plateau or Dolam Plateau, we used to call it. China ने उसको rename कर दिया Doklam and now it has become Doklam. और यहाँ चाइना ने villages बना लिया, जायोकांग जो बोलते हैं ना वो village, वो भी बनाए भूटान के अंदर to sort of have a firm base. But my dear friends, this sector we used to call it as the Jal Dhaka sector. यहाँ पर एक जल ढाका डैम भी है. There is nothing secret in this. This is a proper this thing. You can go and read it.
वहाँ डैम है, पूरा डैम है
डैम है,
और हाइडल प्रोजेक्ट भी है।
हाइडल प्रोजेक्ट भी है। तो वहाँ की जो टेरेन है उसको ट्रेवर्स करना आसान नहीं है। Even if you want to come through river beds and all that, logistics take lot of time to build. We had wargamed it properly with my hands tight. I'm telling you, I got मेरे हाथ बांधे हुए थे, क्योंकि कमांड हेडक्वार्टर, ये तो मैं मजाक में कह रहा हूँ, मे बी दे वांटेड टू प्रैक्टिस अ कॉन्टीजेंसी कि ऐसा हो जाए तो क्या करेंगे. They were surprised that we had catered for all this. And I am not the first corps commander who catered for it. Others had also probably catered for it, and मेरे बाद वालों ने रिफाइन किया होगा, और अब तो फोर्सेस वहां बढ़ गई हैं. तो वी आर वेल प्रिपेयर्ड. चाइना कैनॉट हैव अ फ्री रन, कैनॉट जस्ट कम इन. इट कैन क्रिएट डिसरप्शन, दैट्स ऑल, विच वी आर प्रिपेयर्ड टू फाइट बैक. लड़ाई होती है ऐसी इसके लिए. सो vulnerability is there, but to feel that China will just walk in is not correct. We have forces, we have contingencies, terrain is in our favor, and we are the defenders. You know, in mountains, you need a superiority of 9:1, even more, and you need to have logistics. वो कैसे होगा? And we have got enough reserves. अभी तो वहाँ आर्मर भी रिजर्व है. I can tell you with guarantee. So, uh, don't worry too much, but that doesn't mean we should be complacent. I told you the challenges are of demography also. Malda, Kaliachak, Kamtapur, Gorkhaland, tea labor, ये सब challenges. They all have to be taken care of. Alternate connectivities, very important. We have to somehow convince Bangladesh and develop more and more connectivities. Strategic reserves. We have to have strategic reserves, that's it. We hope that Myanmar gets stabilized and we can reinitiate East policy, Kaladan project. But till then, we have challenges. And we have to also stabilize the situation in northeastern states. It is still simmering in Nagaland. It is a problem in Manipur. They have to be all stabilized. So I think uh, I can pause here because we have done this for about 49 minutes. So we can, or I can even go on. I have, let me check my notes also. Uh, Shankar had referred to Funchling. Funchling is the gateway to Bhutan. And Indian side it is Jagaon, it is above Hashimada, and on that side is Funchling. You'll be surprised to know that all the material into Bhutan goes in from here. But China is having a big footprint now in Bhutan in terms of road building, uh, all their mobile connectivity and all. It is gone. They do not use WhatsApp. They use uh, WeChat and Weibo. They use Chinese apps. That is happened in Bhutan. And the biggest statue in Thimphu was funded by Chinese, Buddha statue. So we have challenges there, but we are working on it, and we have projected that Galifu, which is towards, and there also China has started a problem. There is a Sakteng reserve forest.
Sakteng
So
Reserve
China has
Forest.
put a claim there. China has put a claim there. So China is proposing to Bhutan that you give us this area of Chumbi Valley, allow us to enlarge it, and we will give you area of Jakarlung and Pasamlung, which is in the north. वो हम दे देंगे आप. वो ये कह रहे हैं. Whether it happens or not, India has got some stakes. I will quickly repeat what is important for this. Defense of corridor must be practiced, contingencies rehearsed, And I compliment my command headquarter who tied my hand down and brought home to me. मुझे उसके बाद बहुत अच्छी नींद आती थी कि even if Chinese come, we have the contingencies to take care of them. If Chinese are hearing, please hear it carefully. Here is a corps commander telling you whose hands were tied that you cannot walk into Siliguri. इससे ज्यादा
सर
ऑनेस्टी तो कोई
नहीं नहीं, आई वांट टू आपने इंडियन साइड से बताया, अगर आपको याद है, आई मीन आई मस्ट टेल ऑल व्यूअर्स, जनरल केजे सिंह एंड आई, वी डिड द सेम हायर कमांड कोर्स लॉन्ग बैक. And now when we were doing that higher command course, I was made the Red Land theater commander. कि भाई रेड लैंड की तरफ से, यानी कि चाइना की तरफ से, कि भाई इन्वेड करो इंडिया को. So I was told at that time by the commandant, higher command, I mean, or commandant, Army War College, कि I want you to capture Chumbi Valley. I want to go beyond Chumbi Valley and capture the, chicken snake and Siliguri corridor and all that. मैंने जोर लगा लिया उस वक्त, राइट, इंक्लूडिंग वर्टिकल एनवेलपमेंट एंड लेटरल दिस थिंग, सब कुछ. मैंने कहा नहीं करूंगा मैं. तो ऑलमोस्ट वन डे इन अ मीटिंग, आई मीन इन वन ड्यूरिंग द कोर्स ऑफ दैट वॉर गेम, उनका और मेरा थोड़ा गर्मी भी हो गया. He said, यार मैं बता रहा हूँ तुम करो. I said, सर ये कर नहीं सकते, क्योंकि जो भी जाएगा उधर वापस नहीं आएगा, इंडिया वापस नहीं छोड़ेगा वापस. एंड आई वाज स्पीकिंग लाइक अ चाइनीज गाय. वापस नहीं जाएगा. अगर आप सोच लो 500-600 चाइना के लोग इस कॉरिडोर में जाके फंस गए और वापस नहीं आए, तो पूरा कम्युनिस्ट पार्टी लुढ़क जाएगा. ये छोटी बात नहीं है, ठीक है. और ये मेरा पूरा, ये उस दिन से, ये मैं 99-2000 की बात कर रहा हूँ, जब हमने 2000-2001 की बात कर रहा हूँ, जब हमने ये कोर्स किया था, कि ये पूरा यकीन है कि कोई भी चुंबी वैली से नीचे आएगा चाइना वाला वापस नहीं जा पाएगा. वो वन वे है और वो जपट में आ जाएगा हमारा.
Shankar, just to build on that argument, if they come in, we have ways to cut off Chumbi Valley.
Cut off
There are
Chumbi Valley.
places called as Kala Shahar and all, and now we have mechanized forces. So, my dear Chinese friend, if you listen to our channels, I do not know Chinese. I only know Ni Hao. In my own way, I'm trying to tell you, don't waste your time here. Look for some other options. Because
Yeah, I just want to highlight one more point, sir. Why I showed this map. ये जो मैप है, अगर आप ध्यान से देखिए, ये चुंबी वैली है फ्रॉम तिब्बत साइड, ठीक है. वो आप दाहिने देखिए, ये पूरा सिक्किम है. टू द राइट इज ऑल सिक्किम, टू द लेफ्ट इज भूटान. आप देखिए दोनों साइड जो है पूरा पहाड़ पहाड़ है. आप सिर्फ नीचे ये जो दो रास्ते जा रहे हैं, दो वैलीज जा रहे हैं, वहीं के थ्रू जा सकते हैं. और आखिर में जाके चुंबी वैली में ऊपर जाके फिर नीचे जाना पड़ता है. जो हमारे जितने तोप हैं, हमारे जो ऑब्जर्वेशन है दाहिने से, और जो भूटान का भी कुछ है उधर, वो पूरा जहां भी आप पत्थर भी फेंकोगे तो एक चाइना वाले के सर पे गिरेगा. और ये नहीं कि जो बाहर गया टू द साउथ ऑफ चुंबी वैली जाके वहां फंस जाएगा, जो इस चुंबी वैली में है वो भी मारे जाएंगे. I mean, that is my understanding, sir. If I'm not,
No,
too,
you are 200% right. और जैसे हमने कैलाश किया, कैलाश की तरह हमारे पास वहां ऑप्शन, आई कैन ओनली टेल दिस वन, कैलाश की तरह ऑप्शन है. तो ऐसा नहीं होगा कि इंडिया बैठ जाएगा, क्विड प्रो को किया जाएगा. सो दीज आर थिंग्स, बट दैट डजंट मीन वी शुड सिट बैक. वी शुड वर्क. रेलवे लाइन बनरहाट समझते, do it. Alternate connectivity through Bangladesh, do it. If you have to give concessions, try giving them some concessions. Multiple links, make it. Strategic reserves, create them. Demographic challenges, address them. Gorkhaland, get a closer. Kamtapur, stop it. Interagency coordination, can't do without it. You have to do it. You can't have so many things roaming around without any, coordination. And finally, we also need to hope that Myanmar can address, and we are trying in Bhutan also to develop Galefu and all. So we have to, this is a very sensitive space. I told you about BBIN, एक ऐसा ही और ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जिसको बोलते हैं बिम्स्टेक, उसका भी इधर रोल है, उसमें भी बांग्लादेश, इंडिया, म्यांमार, सिंगापुर, थाईलैंड, ये और सॉरी नॉट सिंगापुर, श्रीलंका, थाईलैंड, दे आर ऑल इन्वॉल्व इन दैट बे ऑफ बंगाल इनिशिएटिव. So there are multiple initiatives. They are not working currently, some of them, but we have to remain engaged. So, my dear friends, I think I'll pause here. If you have any questions or you want to take on the role of this assassin, take it on. We will try and answer it for you. That how we can take this on. Thank you.
No, we'll
Thank you.
take a few questions, sir. We'll take a few questions. He says, "Do the Chinese need another dose of General Sagat Singh to resolve the border dispute?"
See, General Sagat Singh was a great commander, but don't estimate our other commanders. Every commander has certain amount of Sagat in him. We are trained in that. So I can assure you of that much. That see what happened at Nathula or Chola, even Jan Sagat didn't want it to happen like this. Nobody wants, no soldier wants a war to start, and least of all, a war which is being only called as skirmish. We've not even given battle honors. We've not even recognized those people properly. So, what we need to do as a country is we must recognize this. This was a victory by us. Why are we so shy? We should give it a good name, recognize war memorial is already there, give battle honors for this, and be proud of it. ये हमने किया था. Uh, if you will do that, that Chinese are not so keen to start a war. I must tell you this. They are very scared of body bags. They managed to do something in 2020, but they have tried in Yangtze also in 2022. But beyond that, no real firing or exchange of fire has taken place. So I don't think they have the stomach to get into this kind of conflict now. India is well deployed and well postured for this.
Yeah. So I think he needs yet one more clarification. कहता है, vertical envelopment operations by PLA is a real threat. They have been building a lot of helipads in Tibet. I think we
See,
need to
all
clarify
their
this.
helipads are under our surveillance. We know each helipad that they develop. We keep it under surveillance. The day the helipad is developed, we know it. We monitor it. We have UAVs, we have multiple platforms over there, and satellites, uh, P3C Orions, a lot of flying takes place, a lot of monitoring is done. So nothing is hidden from us. We know their helipads, and I must tell you that to secure an airhead in these kind of terrains is not easy. Jungles, hills, riverine, nalas. It's a there are only very limited spaces where you can have helipads because we have to create helipads for our own operation. So whatever spaces are there already are registered and taken. To find a virgin space in this kind of terrain is well nigh impossible. But if you find one, good luck to Chinese. But we have them also on problems. We have quick reserve forces. Because I was a corps commander, I'm telling you. We used to practice them. So to that extent, uh, it's easier said than done because
Yeah.
it's not easy. जैसे अब मैं बताऊं आपको, एक जगह जो ये वॉर गेम वगैरह में लोग कहते हैं गोरबातांग में आ जाएंगे, चाइनीज है तो हम डिस्कस कर सकते हैं, बट वी हैव अ ट्रेनिंग एरिया देयर, वी हैव प्रॉपर ट्रुप्स देयर, आ जाओ यार, यू आर इनवाइटेड, वील गिव यू नूडल्स आफ्टर वी कैप्चर यू, देंगे हम आपको नूडल्स खिलाएंगे, पर कैप्चर करेंगे आप, बिकॉज वी हैव फोर्सेस देयर. So wherever there are places like Kitapsi, I know because I have wrecked them. It was my life and death. No problem. I was the corps commander there. So, and I must tell you, junior leadership in Indian Army is very good,
Very
excellent.
good.
You give a task, people surprise you with the innovative solutions. So don't worry. Uh, Whatever helipads they are building are under surveillance, are being registered, our own available spaces are being monitored, and in case, just in case, they try to surprise us, we have quick reaction forces there, which will act. And before they build up, they will get taken care of.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair thing. That's why I put this question up. You must realize that the strength of the Indian Army here is tremendous, and whatever the PLA can put from Tibet is very weak. You must also realize all their helipads are at altitude. वहाँ लिफ्ट कैपेबिलिटी भी कम होता है, और उसके लिए to do a airhead operation and come into the planes and do it is a big operation. I don't think they can do it. Okay. Hope there is a formal Margadarshak Mandal of Army Generals consulted closely by Office of NSA. Your views.
See, if you are my friend, withdraw this question. If I make any comment, I'll be held up. NSA is a very
No.
powerful.
Okay. No.
He,
I look at
no,
it.
no,
Okay.
I'll
I'll
tell
put
you.
it.
No, I'll give you an answer. He he is firstly an experienced soldier himself. You know, he has been deployed all over. This Lal Denga problem was sorted by him, Mizoram Valley. He was in Amritsar also. He was in Pakistan also. So he's a ground soldier. You know it about NSA. I'm not maska लगाएंगे him, but I'm telling you, he's a ground. He's a winner of Shaurya Chakra here. किसको मिलता है शौर्य चक्र आईबी में. सो ही इज अ सीजन सोल्जर. एंड दिल्ली में बहुत सारा थिंक टैंक है, इंडिया फाउंडेशन, विवेकानंद इंटरनेशनल फाउंडेशन एंड अदर्स विच आर देयर. सो वट एवर thinking he wants, he gets from them. Now those people cannot come on these kind of programs. Not always. We come and give you some reassurances or options.
Yeah.
Many of these may not be as per our plans because we don't have access to them. I don't have access to. I retired 7 years back. Things have changed. But I am giving you a format. That's all. But
Yeah.
don't
This
worry.
is.
NSA has got not one Margdarshak Mandal, many Margdarshak.
Many more. Yeah. And he's got more. वहाँ भी मार्गदर्शक मंडल में उनके जनरल्स हैं, so don't worry about it. It's not necessary that they have to take from YouTube and go there. ठीक. And what we are doing is democratizing strategy to all of you, so that you are educated कि भाई जो भी हम कर रहे हैं वो सही है, और ये जो डर है या शंका है या एप्रीहेंशन है चाइना के बारे में, उसको हम निकालना चाहते हैं, क्योंकि हमें असलियत पता है. ठीक है, और हम लॉजिकली बता रहे हैं और चाइना क्या कर सकता है और नहीं कर सकता है. ठीक, चाइना ज्यादा नहीं कर सकता. इनफैक्ट मैं आई वुड लाइक टू पुट इट अक्रॉस, फ्रॉम वॉट एवर यू हर्ड अबाउट व्हाट जनरल केजे सिंह सेड टुडे, it is more important that we sort out our internal problems and worry about China. You know, our internal problems, if we set things right and put effort in the right direction politically, economically, and geoeconomically, and all that, China can't come here. They can't even dream of coming here. I mean, that's my view. I think you might have a different view, sir.
No, I 200% agree. If we are internally strong, China can do nothing to us.
Yeah, right. So I
China
think
still
so. We've
can't,
had.
even with these problems, China can do nothing much. But if we are internally strong, it will become so much more difficult, and it will be so much better for us.
Yeah. So the last thing, sir, is what you're doing is great for education and assurance of the common Indian. Thanks a lot, Arunachal. It's only people like General KJ Singh who come here, and many more who come on
No,
gunner shot
no.
and
Jal,
give this gyan.
Jal Shankar, Jal Shankar is like a, you see, nowadays you don't see circus. In circus, there's a ringmaster. So he comes and he he does his whip, shoo, and then you know then the tiger dances, then the lion dances, then the elephant moves. So he is the ringmaster. We are only helping him along due to our old associations. So thank you, friends. If you find it educative, once again I'll repeat: like, subscribe, and proliferate and participate, please. And write also.
Yeah.
You all must write on these themes.
Yeah, I think so, sir. And I think we get a lot of positive response from, when we do shows like this. Sir, thanks a lot. And I must first thank all the audience for all their comments. There's a Pakistani Qadiani who's, giving a lot of comments. My request to him is if you don't rein in, you'll get only bad reactions from all Indians. Initially, when you came on this channel, you were quite nice. Now you're turning to be a good Pakistani. So try to be a bad Pakistani and become friends with us. That's all I will say. Sir, thanks a lot for this wonderful
Thank you, sir.
expose you gave on,
Thank you, sir.
Siliguri corridor once again. It was so educative. Every time I listen to you, I learn
And my
something.
dear friends, before we close, in Siliguri corridor, you have a very nice mithai which is called khirdoi. Khirdoi is a distilled version of mishti doi. It is milk which is boiled over, and it turns red. So mishti doi is white in color, khirdoi is reddish in color.
Right.
So in this corridor, people relish khirdoi. It is actually from Pranabda's area. It comes, and also Hilsa and all is
Fish.
there. It's a very nice place. You all must go for tourism there. Go to Sikkim, go to Bhutan, go to Siliguri, go and see these places. And
It's
if you want to
romantic.
invest, yeah, that is there.
It's romantic. It's very romantic. In fact, I
Yes,
must say that my children did their initial schooling there, and they've done well after that. So you learn a lot
sir.
because they learned nature, they learned
Yes, sir.
people. That's the most important thing. बाकी पढ़ाई मैथ्स फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री तो होता रहता. Sir, thanks a
चाइनीज
lot
को
once again.
जन शंकर, एक और चाइनीज को मैसेज देना चाहता हूँ.
वो
Chinese, if
बोलिए
you
sir.
come into this corridor, cater for elephant souls. Because you may come prepared for many things, but you may not
But
have
not
catered for
elephants.
elephants. They have
Elephants,
their
yeah.
mind of their own. If they come on a rampage, you wouldn't know which side to run.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. And that's the final line of defense. 4-5 हाथियों भेज दो चाइना के ऊपर और सब sort out हो जाएगा. Thank you, sir. Good evening. On this
Thank you.
happy note, we'll say good evening and Jai Hind to all of you and Jai Hind, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Jan Shankar.